Hello, Ryan. Our mother Sandra asked both of us, what's your favorite U of O sports memory, both as a child and as a somewhat grown up? Well, Oregon sports have been a huge part of Bigelow life. Even today, it's pretty rare if I go a week without wearing U of O shorts or a hat or a shirt, or these days, a mask. And most of these products weren't purchased because of their stellar journalism or history program. As a young child, I remember making trips to Eugene and watching football games in the 90s. It was pretty cool to see Dad sometimes doing his journalism gig and sitting up in the Autzen press box and then coming back home around midnight. And this was when they were actually getting good. I think my first real football memory was watching the 94 team on TV lose in the Rose Bowl to Penn State. So I don't ever really remember the Ducks being bad. So it's hard for me to understand the complaints of the decades of losing. I have plenty of memories of Mike Bellotti and Akili Smith, Joey Harrington, Sammy Parker, and Keenan Howery. And Autzen was just so different from anything else that I'd ever experienced due to the sheer size, magnitude, energy, and experience. It was huge and loud and bright, and coming from tiny Bend to a stadium that held 40,000 plus people, not far from the entire population of Bend at the time. It was just pretty surreal to be in that loud, energy filled environment. But my favorite childhood memory was actually a basketball game at Mac Court. Basketball has always been my favorite sport, and I had already been a pretty serious Blazers fan for a few years before this particular game. But once I witnessed the 2001 2002 team with Freddie Jones, Luke Ridnour, Luke Jackson, and the Robert Johnson, I was officially on the bandwagon. I watched this game on, I believe, February 1st, 2002, with William and Sandra. Oregon was unranked at the time, and UCLA with Matt Barnes, Dan Gadzurich, Jason Capono, and Cedric Bozeman were ranked 13th in the nation. Matt Court was crazy. The fans were yelling and screaming and jumping, and the rims were actually shaking, so they had to ask the crowd to settle down. And I'm normally pretty quiet and reserved, but I had a hell of a time letting loose and shouting insults at UCLA and getting hyped when Freddie would throw down a monster jam. Oregon won that game 91 to 62. Later, they ended up making it to the Elite Eight and they lost to number one seed Kansas Jayhawks with Oregon native Aaron Miles, plus Kirk Heinrich, Nick Collison, and Drew Gooden. Earlier, I got to see them beat Montana and Wake Forest in person in the first rounds of the tournament in Sacramento. So that was a pretty special season of Oregon basketball, and that really sparked a love of Oregon basketball, Matt Court, and just getting to experience the joy of being a fan. As a bonus, my office was in the building attached to Matt Court for a few years. As an adult, I've made plenty of memories watching countless games on TV, seeing my good friend Morgan Flint, who is currently the 27th all time leading scorer, and attending games with classmates, a few with mom, and several with JD, where I got the full story of exactly what was going on with the current squad. As a student, I would sometimes pregame a healthy amount, thus affecting my memories of the actual games. But I suppose my best Oregon football sports memories are the '09, 10, 11 Ducks and getting to go to the Rose Bowl and championship games back to back. Despite the losses, it was pretty incredible to get a big portion of the family together and make those games into huge events. Allie was just joining our family, and it was a great reason to see cousin Mark. The games really brought the family together. Outside of Christmas, I don't think anything magnetizes Bigelow's quite like a big time football game. And everyone is in such high spirits, and we're united for a single cause and can put real life drama aside and have that be a fun reason to come together. This year's title match is in Indiana. I've never been there, and I hope to be stateside in December. We'll see. Anyway, those are a few of my best Oregon sports memories. Thanks for the question, Mom.